IISD Reporting Services is in Lima, Peru for the UN climate change talks, covering selected side events. On Wednesday, December 3rd, a side event focusing on gender considered how to increase resilience to climate change through the adoption of climate-smart technologies. This event brought together a diverse range of stakeholders who shared case studies from Latin America, Africa, and Southeast Asia. CLAUDIA RINGLER highlighted the main themes.
Traditional knowledge in the communities that is essential for resilience, but learn from it, take it up and expand it and see where else it can be adopted. Right now, very few people, not enough people try to learn from that. There's really serious differences, gender differences in climate information. We heard that women rely on informal networks and men rely on formal networks. And given that climate information is becoming more and more complex, we heard that in Peru they used to look into the stars to decide when to plant potatoes. Things are becoming so complex and so much more dynamic with climate change. So more formal knowledge channels become more important, but women do not have access to those.
She also addressed gender barriers to climate-smart technologies.
Women have, in general, less access to agriculture technologies. There is a case study in Mali that didn't come up, but it did find that men who did have irrigation, so the men generally have irrigation technologies, women don't, they were able to basically make up for all of the production shortfall caused by climate variability.
The changing role of women due to climate change impacts was also considered.
Based from the study that we have done in Vietnam, we are seeing that when climate change impacts the rice farms in the Mekong Delta, which is the main rice growing area in Vietnam, women stay in the farm while men go for off-farm activities to earn more money. And in that case, women assume more role, farm activities. In other countries like in the Philippines, when climate change affects the farm, the women migrate. They go abroad and work for other activities, while men remain.
LEOCARDIO SEBASTIAN spoke on how focusing on certain commodities can lead to unwanted outcomes.
We have to integrate our approaches across commodities, because if we just focus on the main commodities, we tend to increase inequality, because the focus is more on the better of farms rather than looking at the more vulnerable members of the community or members of farm households.
The importance of different types of knowledge in the context of climate-smart technologies was discussed.
You actually need to look at local knowledge as well as new knowledge that's coming in. And we talk about local because we see that context is different across a 200-kilometer landscape, for example. And so for climate change adaptation, it's important to figure out what types of strategies can we develop together in order for farmers, especially women, to be able to use technologies, new and the ones that they are familiar with, in order to create more resilient strategies for survival in those contexts.
Finally, diversity emerged as a key theme.
To focus on gender, we have to focus also on diversity, because women and men do different things, perceive differently risks, and manage and cope with them in a different way, not just because of gender differences, but also because of the social, the political, and the ecological context where they live. It raises a major challenge for policymakers. We can no longer focus in type of diagnostics and recipes type of thing. It's not just differences between different countries. It's within a country, in a region, you find one community next to another one that's handling and managing risk in different ways.
Moving from local considerations to global level climate change discussions, RINGLER said,
we want to see in the negotiation documents and in the outcomes that we see real interventions, also financial interventions, to allow women to fulfill their full potential in terms of climate change adaptation in agriculture.